Hi there, everybody. This is Ethar Hamid again. I'm just doing this video here as a wrap up and as like a final summary video for my class that I took this semester, my course. My class slash course was called Poetry Craft Foundations, so like foundations of poetry craft. Um, so it's saying here, the directions for this final video for the class. It's saying here to state your name, um, um, and then it says here, the next questions, the actual questions here, other than the name, for identity verification purposes. My name is Ethar Hamid, and for the first like actual question here, it's asking here, what is one significant thing that you learned about poetry craft during the course? So one important thing that I took away from the class is that poetry and like poetry writing can sort of consist of many different elements, many different craft elements. And so, poetry craft, it can mean many different things. It can mean, for craft wise, it can mean like the tone and the mood of the writing of the poetry piece. It can mean voice and point of view and perspective of the poet or the writer. And poetry craft can also mean the word choice that's used, the style, overall sort of style of the piece that's written. So craft has, I learned that craft has like many different components to it, more than I sort of thought at the beginning. And it has like many different components, like aspects and like elements to it. So that was that was my answer to it. It was asking like, what did you learn about poetry craft, like in general or in specific, like just anything you learned about it. So yeah, I learned that it can take on different forms. It can mean different things. But usually it's sort of comprised of like many different things, like point of view and all that, word choice and stuff. So I learned that craft can be a lot of different things. And the second question is asking, how might you have changed or grown as a writer during the course? So I wrote here as my answer, I learned about the importance of editing and revising my own work. So editing and revising my own writings. Um, I learned about like the value of it, and I learned that it's important, even though after the first draft of something, you might think that you don't need to edit anymore, or that the first phrasing of it is the best one for you, and this is how you originally this is how you originally conceived of it, and best first draft is the best draft, and let's just go with this one. I learned that like, no, that's not right. That's not how you do it. You always need to like distance yourself a little bit from the writing, give it a few days or a week at least, and then go back to it, and see where you went wrong, see where it could be stronger and stuff. Um, so, first drafts are the worst ones usually. you know, the first one is going to be the worst one. Sometimes third draft is a charm, but sometimes it takes months, sort of years to really perfect it, I guess. whether it's like an essay collection or just even one single essay or poetry collection or what have you. So you really do need to, I need to, slow down, you know, revise, edit. Don't assume that, I shouldn't assume that the work is like done, because there's always like improvements. There's always areas for improvement. It's like this light coming out of my glasses. So yeah, there's always areas for improvement. So yeah, I learned that revision is important in editing. Yeah, and this was for Poetry Craft Foundations course. Yeah, that's it, I guess. Thank you. Bye. Have a good night. See ya.